We all want to be happy. For most of us, the blueprint seems obvious. Hit the right career milestones, earn a higher salary, and piece together the perfect life. We treat it like a machine we can assemble. To test if that blueprint actually works, economists Angus Deaton, seen here, and Daniel Kahneman looked closely at the relationship between how much money people make and their overall emotional well-being. This graph tracks that data. As income rises from zero, daily happiness climbs rapidly. But right around $75,000, the point where basic survival and comfort needs are met, the line flattens out entirely. Earning $100,000 or even $500,000 doesn't make the day-to-day experience of life any better. Beyond money, we also try to engineer joy by setting highly specific, rigid emotional targets. But research shows that fixating too intensely on isolating happiness backfires, making us overly self-focused and disconnected from the people around us. The standard roadmap for a good life relies on endless wealth accumulation and rigid personal goals. But the data proves that this mathematical approach simply plateaus, leaving us searching for a different way forward. When you feel stressed or exhausted, the cultural advice is almost always to treat yourself. Have a decadent dessert, buy something new, or skip your workout to just isolate and relax. A 2016 study by psychologist S. Catherine Nelson tested exactly how effective this is. Her team divided participants into different groups, one instructed to perform acts of kindness for themselves, and another instructed to perform acts of kindness for others. After weeks of tracking their emotional states, the people who focused on treating themselves showed zero measurable improvements in positive emotions or overall psychological flourishing. This happens because of hedonic adaptation, a psychological mechanism where we quickly get used to new comforts. Self-indulgence puts you on a treadmill. The thrill fades immediately, requiring an even bigger treat just to feel the exact same fleeting rush. Turning inward to soothe our stress doesn't solve the problem. It traps us in a stagnant loop, forcing researchers to look at entirely different mechanisms for long-term relief. For over a century, psychology was almost exclusively dedicated to studying trauma, severe mental illness, and what goes wrong in the brain. Only recently has a new branch called positive psychology emerged to study what a highly functioning, thriving mind actually looks like. Positive emotions act as a physical shield. When experiencing sustained positive states, blood pressure drops, and the body releases significantly less of the stress hormone cortisol. With less energy spent managing stress, immune capacity rises, giving happier people an advantage in fighting off illnesses. Many people assume they lost the genetic lottery with their mood. While we are born with a genetic set point for happiness, our daily experiences and actions have a massive influence over our baseline state. Our brains are malleable, a concept known as neuroplasticity. By regularly practicing positive habits, the brain physically responds by thickening the myelin sheath around neural pathways. Like a protective casing on a wire, thicker myelin makes electrical signals travel faster. Happiness is a biological muscle. It requires physical, repetitive action to grow stronger over time. The 2016 Nelson study tracked a second group of participants, those instructed to perform random acts of kindness for others. The data from the pro-social group showed massive, sustained spikes in positive emotions. Those weekly increases in joy directly predicted higher levels of long-term psychological flourishing. This animation illustrates what happens chemically. Pro-social acts trigger the brain to release high concentrations of oxytocin into the bloodstream. This surge actively changes behavior, increasing trust and caregiving. The chemical state inhibits the cardiovascular response to stress, physically calming the heart rate. We are biologically hardwired to receive health and joy as a reward for helping the people around us. Pursuing a purely self-centered life works against our own evolutionary design. Before we can build these healthy neural pathways, we have to consciously stop practicing the habits that wire us for misery. Two of the most common are perfectionism and social comparison. Perfectionism sets intangible, impossible expectations that guarantee failure. Social comparison forces the brain to constantly perceive itself as lacking, regardless of what we actually have. Then there is maximizing, the compulsive search for a slightly better option, even when we are already satisfied. Maximizers spend so much energy looking for the optimal choice that they lose the ability to be present or grateful for the good things right in front of them. Perfectionism, comparison, and maximizing act like software bugs. They keep our baseline happiness artificially depressed, completely neutralizing the benefits of our material wealth. To fix this, you can start by dropping rigid targets for your personal joy. Studies show it is far more effective to pursue vague, overarching goals aimed at general well-being rather than strict milestones. Next, actively practice gratitude every day. By consistently forcing your brain to recognize positive moments, you are physically thickening those neural pathways. Over time, noticing the good things becomes an automatic reflex. Finally, the next time you feel stressed and get the urge to isolate or buy something you don't need, intercept it. Use that energy to perform one small act of kindness for someone else, jump-starting your brain's oxytocin loop. The pursuit of happiness is not a solo destination you can buy your way into. It is simply the biological byproduct of how deeply we connect with and care for the people around us.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like this video and share it with your friends. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button.